This is the doll that I did the glue ends on. Can you see it? Is it a good light? Because it's not, I'm looking at it, it's not good too.
It looks really bright right now.
Is it too bright?
It keeps going like in and out.
Okay, let me try to fix that. How about that?
It seems good. Oh.
Then it goes, okay,
yeah.
Wait. Oh, brother.
That seemed, I mean, with the light off, it didn't look that bad.
Okay, now how about that?
That seems good. Oh.
Then it goes, okay. Let's see.
I'm going to pause for a minute.
So this right here, this bottle, the clear bottle that you guys have, that's the glue remover. That's what you're going to be putting on the tracks to remove it. It has to sit on there for a minute though, okay? And you're going to need clips to keep the hair out the way, and a comb, a wide tooth comb, and you might need your dimming brush or a paddle brush or whatever you got, okay? Okay. Okay, can you guys see that track, or is it still too dark? That makes it too light.
That looks good, Miss Gabby. It's
Looks
bright.
good?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, look good now. Those are my professional lights. Okay, so I'm pinning the hair out of the way. All right, so you can see the tracks. I'm opening the bottle, and it has some paper inside, so you want to remove that. And make sure you put this back on really tight, because if you don't, it's going to waste everywhere. Okay, you open it, and you're going to put it directly on top of the track. You see where the track is? You don't want to put too much where it's dripping everywhere. You just want to put it right on the track. Okay, I put it on there once, and I'm going back over it. Still going, this track is a long track. Okay, I think this track finally ends right there. Okay, so that's how you put on the glue remover. And you let it sit for a minute, because you want it to loosen. And then as, you know, while it's sitting, it will be sitting while you're putting the glue remover on all the rest of the tracks. So this one will come off first. You see how it's kind of loosening? but you don't want to you never want to yank it out. Like, this is not a real head, so I could do it. You never want to see how it's kind of loose. You don't want to just pull it like that. Never do that, because then you'll pull the hair out. You want it to be easy to, just slide on out. And so while that one's sitting, you can find your next track. Put so many tracks in here. Okay, well, we'll do this one on top. You see the track? Goes from there all the way. To right there. So we're gonna make sure we remove all the hair from there. We don't want no hair touching it. Put your clip. And usually the person's head will be held back, because you don't want, just in case this runs, you don't want to run it in her face. But since she's a doll, we could do her like that. But usually, you could tell her to hold her head back, and you could apply it going back.
That's a great point, Miss Gabby. Good point.
Instead of running her face.
Yeah.
But since this is a doll and I want you guys to see it, her head is going this way. Okay, so that's sitting too. So you're doing all your tracks, okay? So it's gonna be sitting. Then you go back to the first one that you applied to the glue remover to, and that should be really loose. So if it's still not loose enough, you would put some more on there, some more glue remover. Okay, now while those two are sitting, I'm gonna show you how to remove the sew-in, okay? So we let this sit a while. She's gonna be sitting over there with her head, a little back. Or you might even want to put some cotton around here. Okay, so this one is gonna be sitting to the side. That's it. Now I'm gonna do this stuff. Okay, so this is the one that's sewn in. So just like the glue in, I'm moving all the hair out of the way. See her track? Okay. And like we said, you don't want to use your hair cutting scissors to cut the glue, to cut the thread out. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my glasses for this. So hold on one second. These are like for nails. You see, they're little scissors like that. And I think some scissors like this came in you guys' nail kit. I'm gonna pull this over as close as I can so you guys can see it. Okay. Now from here, this is the track. And can you guys see the thread? You probably can't see it, huh? But you'll be able to see it on yours. So you take these little scissors and you only want to cut the thread. And you want to make sure they're pretty sharp so that you don't have to be tugging with it and then they come right out. You see how I cut that one? Can you see how it's coming loose? I don't know if you guys can see the thread right there, but you're gonna go through and you're gonna cut all the thread. Okay, see how it's coming loose? And it's thread right there. Remember, I told you to put some knots in at the end? You just put the scissors underneath and you cut the knot out. And there's your track. And some, you know, this is really good hair. When it's sewed in, people wash it, you know, and blow dry it and condition it and reuse it again. If you get some expensive hair, you can reuse it. Okay, now we're going to the braid. Okay, so I got a little thread on the braid right here. And some of you guys might too have sewn the braid down. And we go through, you can see the thread and you just cut it. But if they leave it in too long, if they left this in for a long time, you wouldn't be able to see the thread because the dirt, it builds up around here and it kind of packs in, it almost locks a little. And it's hard to take out if they leave it in too long.
Miss Gabby, how long do you usually tell people that they should keep these in before it gets like that?
I say 2 months, 8 weeks. And at the very most, if they ain't got no money and, you know, whatever, they can't do it until 10 weeks, which is 2 months and a half.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks over the limit.
And so is this like a service that you're like charging for in the salon, or is this like part of what they're paying for when they pay for
No, this is a service. They have to pay to get this hair put in.
And do you like shampoo them or anything afterwards, or?
Oh yeah, if I'm taking this out, they might be getting their hair re-weaved. So I will be shampooing it, conditioning it, blow drying it, and putting the weave back in. Or they might not want the weave anymore. So I'll take it out and they probably just get it shampooed and blow dried or flat iron.
And Miss Gabby, don't you find that a lot of times people don't want to tell you that you still got to take out their, I can't tell you how many times people come in with like, they still have the weaves in and you got to take them out before you can do, like they booked you for something, but and they want to trick you and they don't want to tell you.
Come in and tell you that they got tracks in their hair. So that's more time that you spend with that customer.
Yeah.
And when you book a customer, like they say they're coming in and getting this shampoo flat on, you'll give them an hour, hour and a half. But if you got to take these tracks out of that hair, and it, especially if it's in there for a long period of time, you might spend an hour trying to get some tracks
Yeah.
out of somebody's
I
hair.
mean, that's something that I always came across, and it was frustrating until you start to know your customers better, and then you got to say,
Yeah,
do
then
you
you
have
know
your
how they
track?
coming.
Yeah.
I like when they take their track, get some, they could get someone at home to take their tracks out, or the glue in, they could take out themselves and
Yeah.
wash their hair. If they come in, like I have to let the remover sit for a second and take it out and wash their hair. And usually when you wash their hair you still have some glue in there that you're gonna have to, comb out of their hair with a big tooth comb. And that glue, once you comb that stuff out of there, your comb really don't be no good no more. It be stuck full of glue.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you try, you get down and really get it out. But your comb be like nothing. So I'm gonna take another track out. You guys think you could do that? I know you can. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Can y'all see? Or is my lighting going?
Looks okay.
Okay, because next time I'll have my the professionals will come in and they'll light up for me. Okay, I see some thread right there. I can start cutting right there. You see how it's coming to loose? So if you cut one of these threads, or if they cut it, it's gonna eventually come loose. Look how far that came loose. So it's gonna eventually start coming off.
Miss Gabby, so so what's the average price to get tracks in, sew in, glue ins, tape ins otherwise, and removal?
Well, the removal that comes when they come back. But okay, it just, you know what? It just depends. If they bring their own hair and you got to do a full head, it could go from like 200 up if they bring their own hair. And it depends on the salon you in and how much hair they want. So you start at 200 and up. So it could be 300, it could be 350. Now, if you got to get the hair, you would charge an extra fee. That's when the money come in. If you feel like dealing with getting people's hair, I don't. But if you have a good hookup on getting hair, you could come in and they could pay, if they want their hair right and stuff, anywhere from they could start at 500.
500 for a whole head?
Yeah, it could start there and up, or it could start if they don't bring their hair and you're really quick about it, and you're not sewing the head all around and I put tracks in like this. It could start like 200 and up. But remember, they bought their own hair, so they didn't spend to like about 200 on some hair. So if you had a hookup on some hair, a good place to get it, and you could get it for 100 and then charge them 200, double. That's how it goes, and you make some more money on that. But I just don't feel like dealing with the hair part.
So like just for your own time to service the hair, not like selling the hair, it's
Yeah.
about 500 a head, you said? Like
No,
mid-range?
you could go like, it depends on what you're doing. Now I'm saying 200 and up.
200 for a whole head?
Yeah, like not a whole head. This person had 5 tracks in it, so that could be $200 for 5 tracks.
Okay, I gotcha. So it
Okay.
depends on how many tracks they need too.
And it depends. Now, if she wanted more fuller and everything, it could go up 350 and up, 450 and up. It's up to you. It's your price, whatever you put on it in the area that you in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Miss Gabby, usually people would mark up the hair if they're buying it themselves by, like, you would double it, right?
Yeah, you would double it. Because if you paid 150 for it, this of course I wouldn't do this, but a lot of people do. You know, they pay 150 for it, and then they charge them $300 for the hair plus the putting it in.
Yeah. So that just being able to get the hair is like pretty easy money. And especially if you have a client that just wants like a hair piece or like clip-ins,
Mhm.
then all you have to do is go to the store and buy them for, you know, the discounted price you can get and then sell them to your clients. And you didn't do anything.
Yeah, but you know one thing that I would do, I would get a deposit.
Yes.
If you getting the hair and you setting your time up and everything, you get a deposit.
Mm-hmm. That's I learned that the hard way.
Yeah,
Well, that's good advice.
I learned that too. So you get, when you order and stuff, a special order, you gonna get the hair and stuff, get your deposit up front, you know, for the hair. At least you get paid for the hair, and you can use the hair over again if they don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to make sure you get a deposit, unless you know this person. Okay, so here goes the other track cut out. And you could reuse this. I think I sewed this track in. So I sewed this track in, this braid in, so I'm gonna have to cut it out. And this here happens to be the same color as this thread. Her hair is brown and the thread is brown. So I probably would use the black thread on her.
So, Miss Gabby, wouldn't you agree, like, it'll be more practical to do charges by an hour then? Because, you know, it just depends on the hair and like how much extension, all that stuff.
Yeah, you could go, but you don't know how long it's gonna take you. So if you say, now what if you say you charge for the hour, but well, I guess if you know how long it's gonna take you, because sometimes when you weave in hair and their hair is different textures, sometimes it takes you longer to braid it and stuff. So you don't really know how long it takes you unless you've been doing it for a long time and that's what you specialize in and you know it's going to take you 4 or 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? That would be a better thing to do it by the hour.
Isn't that like the end up part comes in though? Like if we go beyond our estimated time?
Yeah, but what if you go beyond your estimated time? And so how are you going to say, well, I thought it was just going to take me 5 hours, but it took me 8 hours. So you owe me such and such more. They don't want to hear that.
Or even if it goes fast, if you finish faster, I just think it's not, I wouldn't charge by the hour myself. That's just me.
Yeah, because then what if it did take you longer? You already done set a price for $300 and it took you another 3 hours. What if that was another $300?
In cosmetology, it's really hard to give hours to people. Like how
Yeah, I was wondering, clients not complain, like if you taking money by hours, so you like moving slow, you know?
Yeah, you never want to charge by the hour. It's too hard. Is too many things can go complicated, or you can move faster than you think. You just want to really charge by the service, how much hair you're dealing with, what are the obstacles.
Yeah, and then what if you had to do some color and the color didn't come out right? You had to do it over, you Yeah, by the hour. I don't think so. But
I charge by the hour for color corrections.
really?
But yeah, it is a little tricky.
Color
Yeah.
correction's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I understand that. That can be an 8-hour thing.
But the
Yes.
thing about it, I never charge by the hour. I just charge by the service because I kind of know how long it's going to take me to do that person's head. I can look at it and see if her hair is real thick, it's going to take a little longer. If it's thinner, I'll be like, okay, I could do it in maybe an hour and 15 minutes. If it's thicker, you're going to put 2 hours on it, because you have to flat iron it and stuff. But you kind of, as you start doing hair, you can look at the client and say, oh, I could do that cut in 30 minutes. And you really can do it in 30 minutes. And I could blow dry and fit, I could have her in and out in 45. And that's what your goal is, but not to rush and do no sloppy job. You really can start doing that. Okay, so I took her tracks out. You see the braids, there goes her hair. And that's how you take the tracks out of your sew-in. Which is pretty easy, don't you guys think?
Yeah, I have a technical question. When you put the glue remover
Mhm.
on the track, do you kind of just drip on top of the track, or do you saturate the whole track?
I put it on top of the track, underneath the track part, on the hair. And I'm going to show you. It should be loose by now. Usually it come right out. Okay, now this is the one that we glued in. She was sitting.
It's more easy to like glue remover using or wash the head.
I think I would put glue remover, and then if it's still a lot of glue left in the hair, I would sit some conditioner on it for a minute, and the conditioner will kind of loosen it a little more, and then shampoo the hair. So this is a glue remover that's been sitting. You see how it's coming off? Now the hair right here by her scalp, if it's not really that, when you pull it out, it's loose, but it's not coming out. Make sure you hold your hand right here. So if you don't, you'll be pulling the person's hair. You want to hold your hand right there on the scalp and remove it. Hold your hand on the scalp.
Can I use a comb?
Huh?
Can I use a comb to remove it?
A comb, you mean like to hold it like that?
Yeah, and like just brush it away.
I guess you can. If
No,
that
no,
works
like
for you.
brush away the track.
You mean like the glue that's left on here? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean like you just pull it with your hand, right? And can I do like not pull with the hand, but with the brush, like brush it up with slide with the brush?
I never tried that. Let me see. I wouldn't suggest it with a brush because the brush you would be pulling too much of the hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my best thing is, you see where it's loose, hold the hair right there and just pull the track out. You're not pulling the hair because your hand is right there. Usually it'd be much looser, but I guess on this doll, let's say I'm staying on here. And there's the remover. And then you have a little of the glue stuck on the hair. You can put some conditioner right there or put some more glue remover. And when you shampoo the hair with a moisturizing shampoo, some tangle-free conditioner, some conditioner that combs right out. If this glue is stuck on the hair, you could comb it on out with a big tooth comb, okay? Now, if you don't have a big tooth comb, if you have an all-purpose comb on the larger side, You could just lift it up. And you definitely have to shampoo this out, okay? So that's how you take out the tracks with the glue remover. Anybody have any questions?
Is the glue bad for skin, or is it like an oil that actually like doesn't?
The glue, you talking about the glue remover? Is it bad
Oh
for
yeah,
No, it's not. I used it on people and stuff, and it had never broke anybody out. And it never itched them or, it nothing. I think it's a lot of oil. You could also use baby oil. People use baby oil to get this out too. If they don't have glue remover, you just put it right there and let it sit for a minute. And you can also, and once you put all this glue remover all over the head, it's been sitting for a minute, you could go to the sink actually and rinse it out and it would come out. It would shampoo out. It will come out. This is
Miss
sticking
Gabby,
out.
why white tooth comb to brush the glue from the hair, not white?
The brush the glue, we never tried to brush it out. And I think that would do too much roughing of the scalp to brush it out. The scalp would be irritated. If you got a brush and you start brushing it, it seems like that would kind of hurt the scalp a little more. Instead of we're not brushing this, we're not brushing the scalp. We're going where the glue is and pulling it out. I mean, not pulling it. It's not pulling the hair. So we're not going like this. We're not going like that. We're going close to the scalp and pulling it up.
Even when it's like taking out tangles. Even if when you're taking tangles out of extremely matted hair, you're going to start with a wide tooth comb.
That's true, yeah.
You're not going to go in with a brush. And so think of it that way.
Yeah, I don't think a brush. I think for one thing, the brush will irritate the scalp, I believe. And I just don't think it would be good for it. I think this is an easier way to get it out instead of a brush.
Okay.
So there's some glue right there. And once you shampoo the hair, that will come on out. It made it loose. And I'm not combing the scalp. I'm just combing the glue from the scalp by going underneath.
Miss Gabby?
Uh-huh.
So if we took out the glue ends and they wanted it back in, would you recommend that we put it back in the same spot or in a different spot?
You could put it in the same spot if it's a certain style they want it.
Okay.
So just make sure you shampoo the hair real good, condition it, and yeah. Unless the only reason I wouldn't put it in the same spot if you seen like it looked irritating or the scalp was getting irritating on that part, it was getting red or they were losing some hair from there. That's the only reason I wouldn't put it on the same spot.
Okay, so we would charge them for the removal of the weave, and then the shampoo and conditioner, and then to apply it back on. So like,
well, you know what? When they come in and they're gonna get the glue taken out, and I'm gonna put it back on, I don't charge them for the removal of the glue because it's really not a big deal. Because you can sit it on there. And then, we used to could do another customer while that was sitting on there. And then when they come back in your chair, it's easy for them to take it. It's easier to remove it. You know what I'm saying? And a glue in doesn't take, as long as a sew in. You could do a glue in really 30 minutes or 45 minutes, a whole head.
Okay, thank you.
Now, the only way I would charge them, if I didn't do their hair and they wanted the glue removed, out of their hair, But as long as it wasn't in there for months, that's how I would charge them. But if they were getting it redone, I wouldn't charge them for it. Any other questions?